basically, an Erasmus Mundus scholarship is an European scholarship that is being awarded to different applicants every year for different programs. And one good thing about Erasmus is the fact that it cuts across several fields and several sectors, talking about sciences, social sciences, humanities, art, health. I mean, just name it.
Hello everyone, my name is Comfort Oladayo Adegberu and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm here with Sheriff Babalola and he's going to be introducing himself later on. We are going to be talking about the Erasmus Mundus Joint Master Scholarship. It's quite long, but for short it's Erasmus. So if you are planning to apply for funding for graduate school, this is another opportunity you can definitely make use of. We have so many scholarships, so many opportunities to travel out of the country for your graduate studies. So if you're interested in knowing what the scholarship is about, because Sheriff is going to be telling us details about everything, just kindly stay tuned. So welcome back once again, and without wasting time, we are going to let Sheriff introduce himself. So can we meet you and how you got to receive the Erasmus scholarship, what country were you able to visit, your course, your program of study, and if you're still studying or whether you've graduated. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Comfort. Hello everyone. My name is Sheriff Olamide Babalola. I'm now an alumnus of Erasmus Mundus scholarship. I recently graduated, and I was opportune to study under the program Flood Risk Management. So basically, I'm an hydrologist. I deal with everything that deals with water. That is what I'm, concerned about. And my journey actually started not too long ago, because I kind of have a little shift in field. So basically, my bachelor's was different from what I actually did for my master's. I did a bachelor's in fisheries and aquaculture technology. That was in Nigeria, in Futa. And that was what I had for my bachelor's. And when I wanted to, venture into master's degree, I am someone that, I love to explore all different opportunities around my field. And water management, for example, was one of the, things or one of the sectors that I really worked on when I was doing my fisheries and aquaculture. And luckily for me, I was able to secure the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship in 2019 at Cranfield University for the course Environmental Water Management. And that was when the shift started. So a little brief of the course I did at Cranfield University in the UK. So environmental water management is basically, as it sounds, just the management of water in the environment in different sectors. And one thing that I like to point out here is the fact that that was a very general course. It was not an area of specialization. So, it's just like saying water management. Water management encompasses a lot of, sectors. We have different ways. We have water in the urban areas, for example. That's one sector. We have natural water resources management. That's another sector. Water encatchment, flooding, drought. These are different sectors of environmental water management. And like I said earlier, it was a general course. There was a need to specialize under one particular sector. So I was towards the end of my first master's degree in the UK. I had a very strong liking for flood risk management, and I did a thesis that was closely related to this during my first master's degree. So this was what gave birth to my interest in flood risk management, and that was why I decided to go further to specialize in flood risk management. And hence, this gave birth to my Erasmus Mundus scholarship under flood risk management. So basically, it just has been like that for me. And today, I can say it's been a very impactful journey. And as we go forward, I would like to share more about this journey with you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, okay, so without wasting time, I have some list of questions that would like guide us through this video interview. And okay, could you tell us like what the Erasmus scholarship is about, like generally, and if someone doesn't even know about the Erasmus scholarship, can you just like give us like a brief? Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Comfort. So the Erasmus Mundus scholarship. So, to some people it's called Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters degree scholarship. Some people it's Erasmus Plus because they have different names.
Okay.
Over the years it has been like different names, but we're still talking about the same thing. So basically, Erasmus Mundus scholarship is an European scholarship that is being awarded to different applicants every year for different programs. And one good thing about Erasmus is the fact that it cuts across several fields and several sectors, talking about sciences, social sciences, humanities, art, health. I mean, just name it. It cuts across several fields. There are different programs for different fields. So the fact that, or the fear that, maybe I won't find a course that is related to my background. No. Trust me. I'm very sure you would find at least one program that is, if not directly related, indirectly related in such a way that, yes, you would be able to do this. And that's one beauty about Erasmus. And there are over 190 different programs that you can explore, or that could, cut across different fields, like I said. And one other thing is the fact that, you can choose to apply to, before it was always like 3, you are entitled to apply to 3 programs per year. And recently that's changed. You can apply to as many programs as possible right now. And basically that's just it about Erasmus. It's an European scholarship. So depending on the program, you get to study it. All the programs are 2 years, and you get to study in different countries. So depending on the program, you can get to study in 2 universities for those 2 years. You can get to study in 3, 4, 5, 6, in fact, even up to, I think, 8. So there are some programs that you can choose to study in 8 different universities within that space of 2 years. And most of these universities are in Europe. We have some exceptional courses where they have their university in Japan. I think there's another program also that has a university in Cameroon. Japan, Cameroon, but of course, close to 95% of the universities you'll be attending are in Europe. Yeah. So basically, that's the brief about Erasmus.
Okay. So, what does the scholarship cover? Like, is it fully funded?
Yes. Erasmus Mundus is a fully funded scholarship. I would like to break that down in terms of fully funded. So, there have been some changes recently. So normally, the way it works, for example, from my cohort, it's a fully funded scholarship, and you get something we call the monthly stipend. So the monthly stipend, you get paid 1,000 euros per month for that 24 months that you'll be studying. You get what is called a travel allowance. So basically, the travel allowance, for example, is just is the money that is given to you per year. So for those 2 years, you get travel allowance twice. You get one the first year, you get one the second year. So it's just the travel allowance covers any costs you have incurred while coming to Europe and when you'll be leaving later, if you decide to leave. And so that's like that what the travel allowance that is what it entails. And there's also one other allowance you are entitled to. It's called the installation cost. So the installation cost is, I think, 1,000. The installation cost is 1,000. Then the travel allowance also depends on your distance to your home university. So let me expatiate on that. So the travel allowance, it is 3,000 if the distance from your country of residence to your home country, that is the country that is coordinating your program, is above 4,000 kilometers. You get 3,000 travel allowance per year. But if it is less than 4,000 kilometers, you get a travel allowance of 2,000 euros per year. So depending on your distance from your residence country to your home university. So you get either 3,000 per year or 2,000 per year. So there's another one, maybe I think there will probably be a question that I can also answer that will bring me back to this later. Because
let me cut you a bit here. So, for example, if we are using Nigeria as a case study for the travel allowance, because I can't start calculating 4,000 or less than 4,000 kilometers at the moment. So, Nigeria to Europe now, will it fall like under the 3,000 or the 2,000?
So it's specific. Okay, let me explain. Yeah. Okay. You know, even if you are gonna go from, let's say, southern Nigeria, for example, let's say if you are going from Lagos to Kaduna, that's almost, I don't know the exact distance, but that could already like be close to like 1,000 kilometers. So this can influence your distance. So basically, someone that is when I say your residence country, it means where you are actually living. So for someone, for example, that is going from the north, that is maybe in Kaduna, and is going to somewhere like Spain that is very close to Africa, then trust me, you might not get up to 4,000 kilometers of distance compared to someone that is coming from the south down, and is going to all the way to Sweden. Then, you know, so it's always about the distance from your state of, residence, from your state of residence, or from the airport, from the airport where you'll be living, to the airport where you'll be going. So, I mean, it's more or less, that's how it is calculated to really, so it could differ. Someone from Nigeria can get 3,000. And another person in the same country can still get 2,000, depending on that distance.
Sure. Exactly. Okay, thank you. You can go ahead with what you were talking about.
Yes, so what I was about to say about the issue of payments, travel allowance, and discussion, there is, when we talk about Erasmus, there are typically for most of the programs, there are two types of Erasmus you can apply to. So there's something we call the partner country scholarship, and there's something we call the program country scholarship. So in terms of these payments, it is different for both parties. So when we say partner country scholarship, for example, this is a scholarship that is available for partner country citizens. So let me differentiate between partner country and program country. So partner countries are countries that have applicants applying to Erasmus, and they don't have a university that is offering a program in their country. So like I said earlier when I started, I said most of the universities are in Europe. So that automatically means anybody that is applying from Europe, that is an European, if anybody is an European, for example, and is applying for this Erasmus scholarship, they will be automatically categorized as program country applicants, simply because you would find at least one or two universities in their country that is offering Erasmus. So that automatically qualifies them as a program country. But for someone from Nigeria, for example, we don't have a university that is offering Erasmus courses. Automatically a partner country. So every other country that there is no Erasmus course carried out in that particular country, they are all partner country, applicants. So that is the difference. So for partner country applicants, the 3,000, 2,000 I mentioned earlier applies to them. It applies to them, and the installation costs. So the installation cost and the travel costs or travel allowance of 3,000, 2,000 applies to partner country scholars. So for program country scholars, you only get 1,000 euros for travel allowance, and you don't get an installation cost.
Wow.
So that's the difference. So I mean, for the different scholarships, the level of money you receive also increases or decreases.
Yeah. So for example, now let's say you're an Italian. Yeah, and maybe you want to apply for like an Erasmus. I'm sure we have different Erasmus programs, like you said, about 100 and something. So let's say, for example, the course you want to take now, it's not going to be offered, like there's no university in Italy that would be like part of the, is it consortium now or something? So are you going to be a partner or program at that point? Or it's irrespective, it's just your citizenship?
Exactly. You are going to be a program country, because even if the course you are going for, you don't have to study in Italy, there are still other courses that have partners in Italy. So it doesn't matter whether it's your own course that has the partner. As long as there is one course or one program that has the partner, you are a program country scholar. So for example, like you said, an Italian that applies to a course that maybe, let's say, Spain and France is where she or he has to study. there are some other programs that has, a course
In
in
Italy.
Italy. So automatically
Yeah.
it classifies Italy itself as a program country. So you
Wow.
being a citizen of that program country, you cannot get a partner country
Wow.
scholarship.
That means you have
I
to
had
pay
actually
double
had,
in Nigeria.
what's funny? I had this, I mixed this up actually.
Mm-hmm.
When I was making my application, I would like to clarify something about partner country and program
A
country.
program. Okay.
You have to, you have to take note of something. So basically, remember I said I had my first master's in the UK. The UK, for example, for your information, the UK is a program country. Yeah, because they have some courses that they have some courses in some universities in the UK, so it qualifies them as a program country. But one thing I would like to tell you now is the fact that if you are a partner country citizen, maybe in Nigeria, for example, I'm a partner country citizen. Yes, automatically. But if in the past 5 years before you submit your application, you have stayed in a program country for more than 12 months, then you cannot apply for partner country scholarship anymore. You have to apply for program country scholarship.
That's
Yes.
cheating.
I made that mistake actually because I was in the UK. I think I stayed for 14 months. I stayed in the UK for 14 months because after my master's degree, due to COVID, I had to extend my stay because one of the agreements with Commonwealth Scholarship is you have to go back to your country. So because of COVID, I had to stay a little bit, maybe 2 months, 3 months extra before I left back to Nigeria. So that means I had stayed for more than 12 months in the UK before I applied for my flood risk management program. So that automatically takes me from being a partner country applicant to a program country applicant.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I made that mistake. My first submission was as a partner country applicant. But luckily, I stumbled across this same discussion about partner country program country. And I saw that clause. And I saw that clause of more than 12 months. So I reached out to the coordinating university and I explained my situation to them. Then they told me, no, I had to apply for a program country. Then they cancelled my first application and I had to apply for it. So yeah, that could go against you. That could have gone against me if I didn't find out.
Imagine losing the opportunity just because of that one mistake.
Just because of that mistake, exactly.
And it's not even your fault. We can't even say whose fault. Maybe it's your fault because you were
actually it should have been my fault because this information. So that's why for applicants it's very important to take notes of information, ask questions and stuff because this information was actually on the website, but somehow I missed it.
Yeah, that's
exactly
true. Thank you very much for clarifying that and pointing it out because I'm sure it's very, very going to be useful like for others. So many persons might not even be aware of this particular part of the application. So thank you. And does the Erasmus also include like visa? Like does it cover your visa application when you're coming?
Okay, so like I said, the travel allowance cost, the installation cost I mentioned is so let's assume that I'm getting 3,000 plus the 1,000 installation cost. That's 3,000 per year, that's 6,000 and 1,000 installation cost, that's 7,000. So one thing you need to note is the fact that every funding or every finances you are going to spend from the time you secure your scholarship officially for example, if you have to travel around within Nigeria, if you have to do some documentation, some legalization of documents, visa application, everything will be funded by you at the beginning. So everything will be funded by you at the beginning. Even your travel from Nigeria to Europe, everything would be funded at the beginning. So you get your money back when you arrive in Europe through this travel allowance and installation. So I think it's more or less a very, very nice pay back when because in the end I don't think we have to be honest with each other. Regardless of how much you spend throughout your processing and everything, I think the payments, the refund through the travel allowance and installation cost is more than enough to settle everything. So but one thing you need to take note, all the bills are on you until you arrive in Europe. So once you arrive in Europe, you settle in, register, you open an account, then you get your money. So like I said, the travel allowance is paid in twice, first year, second year. But the installation cost is paid once, of course. So they pay it with the first travel allowance. And yeah, that's it.
That's really good. Imagine having to, and that's even aside your monthly stipend.
Yes, exactly.
That's good.
Like I
I'm
said,
sure.
before we go, I said something earlier about the fact that things were changing. So, some recent development is the fact that now they are switching from paying 1,000 per month to 1,400.
Oh.
Some new programs. I don't think it does not apply for all the programs.
Oh, okay.
So because the way Erasmus works, yes, they secure funding for, I don't know about other programs, but for my program, for example, they secure a 5-year funding. So, for example, the one I just finished here, it was this. The funding was secured from 2020 to 2025. I think yes, 2025. So a 5-year is always like that because they don't want, they always like to review every program after the first funding and try to see if they can continue to fund that program. So they always have that 5-year cap for every program, and they run it for that 5 year. The funding for that 5 years will already be given. They run it for that 5 year. They review and decide if they want to continue the program. So what I mean by there is a new development is the fact that, so for fraud risk management, for example, there will not be an intake for next year, simply because that 5-year funding is going to end this year. And now, at least from the news that I got from the organizers, they already secured funding for the next 5 years, which is a very good news, yes. But now I'll use that fraud risk management as an example. For this last 5 years that I'm part of, we were taking 1,000 euros per month. I'm sure that for the next 5 years funding, the new changes would apply to them. The new changes would be that the travel allowance and the installation costs will be removed. So they will remove the travel allowance and the installation cost, but they pay them 1,400
per month. Yes, well, I don't know if that's, maybe it's, let me do the math. 400 times 2.
So that's like the new. That's like the
I think it's good.
If we put it into calculation, it's better. Yeah, if we put it into calculation, it's better. And it is now, with that, I think it is now favorable. Okay, don't let us go into the details.
I guess it's favorable for both partner and program in a way.
Yeah, exactly. That was what I was about to say. But I mean, I think that's a good development. That's a good development.
Yeah,
so there are some new programs, for example, that they just started. I think maybe last year or this year or maybe 2 years ago. They are already using that new, this new development. But for programs, for example, that already have secured maybe 5-year funding and is still running. So until that 5-year funding ends, they don't switch to the new development.
Yeah.
So that's why some people, you might find it interesting when you hear, I'm getting 1,400 every month. And some people like, but I'm still getting 1,000. That is because those that are still getting 1,000 already have they are already part of the funded year. So, but the new ones are the ones that would benefit from the new development. And of course, until new funding comes for the other programs as well. So that is the little thing I want to bring out about funding and everything.
That's quite detailed. Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you, Sherif. So, for the Erasmus, do you think it covers like I was a recipient of Commonwealth Shared, and all Commonwealth scholarship kind of covers or give you a bit about them for dependents. So, like for Erasmus, do you think there's any provision for that?
For what?
Dependents. Like if you have like you're bringing your family.
Yes. Okay. For example, I have a friend. He started his program last year, 2022, and right now his wife and child are now with him.
Wow.
So I think I think there's a plan, or there's something, for dependents as well. I think it allows you, like, let me just use that word, it allows you to bring your partners, and it's almost similar to that as well in Germany, for example. allows you to bring your partner. In Erasmus, same thing happens. There's like a provision for that in terms of bringing your partner or dependent. And yeah, yes, definitely. It's
And Erasmus is going to like, also give them like some sort of stipend for them, like the dependents.
I wouldn't say I have the direct answer to that.
Okay.
But I know your dependents can come. But in terms of maybe there is a financial allocation for it, I'm not sure.
Okay, so if you're bringing your dependents, it's just like left to you. You have to work on that personally to like bring them over.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for example, the idea is, I think, more or less, to just be about the fact that, yeah, anything that involves like maybe visa, and yeah, I think it would be, of course, it would hate that, the visa application and everything until they are with you. Then, of course, then every other thing that happens after, it has to be on you, basically, because of course, if you are bringing your partner to you, for example, I expect that you also have plans for them, basically.
Definitely.
You are the scholar.
Yeah, I was talking about like the visa application, because I think for Commonwealth.
Yes, I think there should be an assistance towards that. I think there should be an assistance towards that. Being a scholar definitely automatically qualifies them as dependent. That I think there should be an assistance towards that. Yeah.
Anybody watching this should also like make their own findings and do the research, and definitely you can always like send emails. And one thing about them abroad is they are quick to respond to your messages and all of that. Yeah, so thank you. And are there like any conditions attached to the scholarship, like maybe some things you have to fulfill as a scholar? Maybe you have to be involved in certain maybe leadership, blah blah blah, or you have to go back to the country when you're done, or maybe like some commitments as a scholar, or it's just totally like free aside from the normal efforts you put in while applying?
So basically, there is not a lot of commitment. Okay, let me start with the fact that you are not, entitled, or you are not forced to return to your country, or you are not, being told to go to your country after your studies. Like Commonwealth, for example, that's like an agreement. You have to return in 1 month. This type of agreement is not with Erasmus. With Erasmus, you can decide to, extend your stay here. If you get a job, you can apply for a job depending on the country where you want to stay. That's also the flexibility of Erasmus. The fact that you get to study in different countries, you can, choose to settle in any of these countries. And, that flexibility is, different countries have their different post-study plans. Germany has its own, France has its own, the Netherlands has their own. So you are not, it is not a must that you go back to Nigeria or your countries after your study. You can decide to settle in, you can decide to get a job and start working. You can even automatically move to a PhD. I mean, the flexibility is there. So in terms of other commitments, the commitments are just more academic. Of course, you are expected to probably, attend classes, of course, which is basic. Yeah? You are expected to attend classes, you are expected to write exams, you are expected to, attend practicals, you are expected, there's kind of, I think, for depending on the university and the country as well, there are some, assessments or marks allocated to, attendances and stuff like this. And so these are like the main commitment that is expected from you as a scholar. You have to attend classes, you have to, write exams, and these are like the major commitments. In terms of, I think these are like the commitments. I don't think there is any other specifics in terms of what you are expected to do, what you are expected to do.
Yeah, based on what you just said now, I want to ask that since it's a 2-year program, let's say you're done with your first year, is there like some sort of check to know if you did well in the first year that would maybe tell them that, okay, we're going to stop paying you because you did not do well in your first year or you were not fully committed? Is there anything like that? Or you just get...
I think this would also be, program specific. I would my program, for example, as an example, there is no direct check here. For me, for example, my flood risk management, I get to study in 4 different universities. So I start in Germany, then I move to the Netherlands, then to Spain, then to Slovenia. So the first year, Germany, 6 months, you have your exams and everything. So as at the time you are starting the second semester in the Netherlands, you would already start receiving your grades. So you personally, you would already know, okay, I've actually done well in this particular, in the first semester. I think I'm good to go. And of course, the way you also, take out your second semester also would also influence, you would already know because there is like every university might have a different academic structure. So in Germany, for example, we had what is similar to Nigeria, where you have classes and write all your exams at the end. So in the Netherlands, it's not the same. The Netherlands, they have what is called the modular system. So the modular system is if you have a 6 courses, for example, you take one, you write the exam. You take the next one, you write the exam. So that's a modular system. So, these different systems would also mean that you get to get your grades differently. Like Germany, for example, we got our grades when we were in the Netherlands, simply because we wrote all the exams in the end. But in the Netherlands, we started getting grades even before almost the end of the next course. So, for example, I took one course, I wrote the exam, and I'm taking the second one. I could already get my grades for the first course while I'm doing the second one. So, it's a difference. And, this way you can already know that, okay, yeah, or assess yourself that, okay, yes, I'm doing well. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. There is no specific way to check whether a student is doing this. This might be specific to different programs. Yeah, some programs might do this, but for my own program, for example, there was no check or this type of knowing whether this person actually deserves to continue or not. And of course, basically I think it's just like as expected as you for being a scholar.
Yeah.
To, put in your best and just keep the work going. So there is no specific check, basically.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Thank you so much. So now that you kind of say that we have different programs, so I'm sure the application process will be different, like for different programs. So maybe in case you are aware of other application process aside from your specific program, that's a flood risk management. Can you tell us about that? Yeah.
If you've been able to watch the video up to this point, thank you so much for staying until the end. So in the next episode of the Erasmus Mundus Joint Master's Degree video series, you'll be learning about the application process and things that Sheriff Babalola was able to apply, I was able to put up a successful application. And remember to share this video, remember to like, and don't forget to subscribe. Till then, do stay comforted. Ciao.